have an extensive number of slides here. You guys have been overwhelmed, I'm sure, and NIH is probably getting old for you. So my plan is to go through some kind of core slides that you haven't seen that are NIDDK relevant, and maybe go through some high-level things that we are interested in and that we are participating in currently. But then I'd really like to just open it up and give you guys a chance, especially if you didn't get time to have a one-on-one, to ask questions about any of the things that Matt or Todd or I have gone through, any specifics related to our commercialization programs, or how review works, or whatever it is. If I can answer the question, I'm happy to do so. So really, this is going to be mostly about you guys. So NIDDK, we are basically, I say, from here down to your belly. We cover it all, minus a few things like heart, lung, and blood takes. But we have a fairly large budget, but we also have a ton of diseases. As you can see, the gamut. So Matt and Todd all have told you, we have a lot of money, we serve a lot of people, we make a lot of difference in the world, but we have lots to do. Here are the numbers that you've seen. So this is us. So NIDDK is split into 3 different divisions. We have our diabetes, endocrine, metabolism division, and they cover a wealth of conditions. I am the lead in the division of digestive diseases and nutrition. So we cover everything from obesity to GI to liver to pancreas. And then we have our kidney, urology, and hematology division, who is our smallest division, but you can see they still have lots and lots of diseases. Recently, my division was also filled with our Office of Nutrition Research, which basically covers all of the nutrition research that is done across NIH. So NIDDK. This year, our current figure just came in is about 2180. So we have a lot of money. We're happy to spend it. There we are on the chart that you've seen before of, big to smaller. And specifically, SBIR-wise, we have a nice chunk of change for SBIR and STTR. And then NIDDK, also has extra funding that is designated by Congress specifically for type 1D research. So whether it's diabetic foot ulcers or diabetes education, there is money aside in the budget, and it's been there, I think, for the 16, 18 years that I've been at NIDDK. So the money has to be spent on type 1D related research. You've seen this slide before, just showing how the SBIR program works. So NIDDK doesn't have a pay line. Most institutes do. We don't for a number of reasons, and these include sometimes a score and the text of what the reviewers actually thought of the application differ. So you could have many applications that have the same score, but when you read their summary statement, some have some bigger issues than others. So we make sure that we are going to fund the most meritorious applications. We also look at our portfolio balance. We look at things that are within our mission, but we don't have a lot of applications looking at them. So pancreas is one example. A big, bad disease, but not a lot of research going on. Our average costs somehow, I don't know how this is, but somehow are below or right about at the caps that the SBA kind of imposed on us. But we do welcome applications of any size as long as the budgets are justified. I believe either Matt or Todd, or maybe both, probably discussed the waiver topic areas that pretty much cover everything and allow you to submit an application for work that will go over $225 for a phase 1 or 1.5 million for a phase 2. This is pretty much how our portfolio looks in terms of the applications that we fund. We have recently seen an increase in device work, but still pharmaceuticals or drugs are our main application type, but not to say we don't welcome everything, because we do. Just kind of reassessing or reformulating that same picture that my colleagues have shown, but showing how technical assistance and how we kind of focus our efforts sits. As I said, we have a fantastic commercialization accelerator program that is run by a contractor of ours, but you can't apply to get into that program until you have a phase 2 award. There's a phase 1 award program as well. It's called the niche assessment. Both are great. The CAP, however, is really great from my perspective because it's tailored to your needs. So if you're a very seasoned company, there's something for you. If you're a very green and brandy new, I don't really know what I'm doing, but I think I have a great thing, there's something for you. And so we have set the program so that it is tailored for every individual company that enters into the program. So once you get to phase 2 funding, you'll want to keep your eye out for it or talk to your program director about the opportunity. So we have many successes out of our institute, and I'm not going to go through these slides in detail except to show you that we have a wealth of different kinds of technologies that have gotten into the market, as well as the breadth that they cover. Here's an example of a couple of companies with artificial pancreas, which clearly is an important thing. Some more from our DEM, a lot of glucose monitoring systems. Here's my division. So again, GI, liver, obesity, nutrition. These are some companies that this one, for example, has not only gotten rounds A, B, C, but also was bought a couple of years ago by a Japanese company, and is just, their technology just, I think, is going to change the world if it hasn't already. So some of you might have technologies that might go well with this kind of thing, and so you might want to kind of look Reveal TX up and see if maybe you could partner with them or whatever. So I think that notion is one that you should always be on the lookout for. You guys are small companies. Sometimes there are other small companies that may be a great fit for you. Sometimes there are bigger companies that might be a good fit for you. And sometimes there are companies like this that have been through the program, and so they know where you are and they have moved forward. And so some of them might be maybe a good fit, but maybe also willing to kind of help you out, show you the ropes kind of thing. So you should always kind of be thinking about that. It's not just, J&J that you want to talk to, but sometimes it's these smaller companies that may be a great fit for you. Here's another company that I just love. The CEO of this company, the first thing he said to me when he wanted to kind of push his technology idea was, can you imagine you sit at a table and you have to just pee in your seat? Nobody wants that. So this hopefully this is still in clinical trials and has some ways to go, but is something that could definitely change the lives of a lot of people. This company was really fantastic. One of the reasons why I like to highlight is because they not only had applications and funding from my division, but also from our kidney division. In addition, they also had kind of follow-on funding with RO1s. So they utilized the RO1 mechanism, which is the mechanism that the majority of laboratory researchers at universities use, but they also had a platform technology that they thought about using in 2 different divisions within NIDDK. So another thing that you might think about when you're thinking about your technology is that it might have broader range than you think. And so leading into our kidney division, here's another fantastic technology that, I can't say enough good things about it, but good stuff. So NIDDK works really hard. Fortunately, our director is very much positive about the program, and he looks to include the small business program and the small business opportunities in all of the opportunities that exist at NIH. So on the left here include some of the common fun things which Matt kind of touched on, and you'll see a slide I'll just push through. Some things are NIDDK specific, and some things are maybe not NIDDK to start with, but have translational potential. And so we try to include our small business FOAs to include funding in these opportunities. Just our therapeutic pipeline. If you look at the details here, and it's kind of hard to see, but basically, if you are considering a therapeutic, your in could be at so many of the places at the top of that pipeline. So again, you're not forced to start at the beginning and make your way forward. You could jump in at screening or lead optimization, and we do have, again, an example here of a particular FOA that goes along with an RO1. These are funding opportunity announcements. One I like to point out, and I've talked to some of you about this already, but the Kidney Precision Medicine Project is a new opportunity out of NIDDK that our kidney division is looking to put a lot of money, effort into moving forward therapies and any kind of help, whether it's behavioral or therapeutic, to people with chronic and acute kidney disorders. Let's see. So kind of backtracking a little, but to talk about outreach. Matt did some of that this morning. We're thrilled to have our administrative funds back. Thank you, Congress. But we at NIDDK feel that it's really important to not only fund technologies that have potential, but also then to follow on with that beyond grants to help companies to get experience out in the market, to present their technologies, at meetings, and to travel and see what else is going on in their world. So with or without, unfortunately now it's with admin funds, we try to make an effort to send our companies to a range of different meetings. Sometimes they come to us and say, there's this great meeting, we didn't request funds for it, could we submit a supplement to get those funds? I'm usually thumbs up about that. Sometimes we get the opportunities. Again, Resi, Avamid, Bio are just examples of NIH likes to have a presence at those meetings, and fortunately the meeting organizers are thrilled to have us there. And oftentimes some of the big people at these meetings will listen in on a presentation you're giving and suddenly realize, wow, this is something that I might be interested, or one of my colleagues might be interested in, and could want to talk to you. I think a lot of, here at JP Morgan Week, a lot of people I've talked to have no idea about how much money SBIR in the government, especially NIH, holds. So you guys need to definitely take advantage of it and talk to any of us. All right, so these are common fund. Matt talked about HEAL and the opioid issues. Sparks one. Okay, so I don't think I need to go into any of these. So just leave this one up. So does anyone have questions, whether about NIDDK or otherwise? Is there something you'd like me to discuss, whether it's specific to me or NIH in general? Sir?
Is the type 1 diabetes special program now?
No, currently there are no special, sometimes they have RFAs. An RFA is a mechanism that has dollars attached to it. So in this day and age, there are not a lot of RFAs that go out in NIH, but basically they would hold, say, $8 million. And so you could come in, it's a one-time offering. You come in, if you get funded, it's a one-time deal. And our diabetes money is often done that way. However, you can come in under the omnibus, and if it's type 1D specific, it would be paid, it could be paid by that chunk of money. So when Matt talked about how Congress basically tells, NIH, this is how much money, cancer is going to get, NHLBI, NIDDK, underneath NIDDK, they also have a line item for type 1D, which now is similar with like the opioid money.
But presumably help put those words in the title.
Yeah, but fortunately our Center for Scientific Review, who has the receipt and referral, you submit your applications to NIH, not to NIDDK or to NIA or to NIAID. You submit to NIH, and that center makes the decision as to who gets assigned to it. This isn't your question, but I'm going to go forward on this. Sometimes you'll submit an application thinking it's going to be assigned to NICHD, which is child health. But it gets assigned to NIDDK, and child health is what we call a dual. Well, that's a great thing for you, because that means that there are two institutes at NIH that have in their mission the technology that you're looking to move forward. So if we pass on it, they might pick it up. Or if for some reason, and it would usually be the other way around, but if for some reason we didn't have enough money, but we thought it was great, I could go to their program director and say, do you have $50,000 to co-fund this with us? So let NIH do its job and make the assignments for you, because 98% of the time, I think they get it right, and they also will give you that added bonus of dual assigning you to institutes. To go back to the gentleman's question, so you don't have to put it in the title necessarily unless it's relevant, because the receipt and referral go through the abstracts and go, okay, this is type 1D, this is, so. Anyway.
Are phase 0 like projects or applications available through the NIDDK for academics, as I understand it?
Phase 0.
Right. It was mentioned by
Matt. So there is a mechanism called an R21 for early research. There's R01s. I don't know phase 0. If you're talking about related to small business or no?
He said it was phase 0, and that is more relevant than CTR. each program?
Okay, yes, sorry, right. So those are STTR dollars that each institute gives up, basically. So say it's a 1% donation that we're required to give back to Matt's group, and they're gonna have a solicitation, or I think it's already out, for this acronym REACH. And so it will set up 5 hubs across the country to basically be almost like, like self-starters. So for example, in the previous edition, there were 3 hubs. One, for example, was out at Stony Brook in New York. Basically, anybody who worked at Stony Brook could submit a little application to their hub with an idea. And if they thought it was good, they would give them $10,000 to give it a go, start it up. They could come back to them and they could either get a little more money, or if it was developed far enough, they would send it to NIH and say it was in IBD. It would come to me, and I would review it and give it a little summary of, yeah, I don't think this is gonna make it. Or, this looks really great. You know, they may need this and this, but this looks great. And then it would eventually go back to the person who, you know, submitted it, and they might submit an SBIR application.
Our company is developing a novel medical platform that could treat a variety of diseases. Can you share any knowledge you have about NIH attitude toward natural medicine? Is it positive?
Oh, it's absolutely positive. The beauty of NIH, and there are many, yeah, I do like my job, it's not just like, is that we don't necessarily know what's great. We look to the public to tell us what is gonna be great and what needs to be done sometimes, and you know, why your way is a feasible way, is a reasonable way to go for things. So the omnibus solicitations throughout every mechanism at NIH basically imply that. We're not gonna tell you what we want. We'd like you to tell us what we should want. So again, just like you don't need to know that it's gonna come to NIDDK, you certainly can send me an email and I'll say, you know what, this would probably be assigned to so-and-so, or yeah, it probably would be assigned to me, but either way, these are the things that you should think about. But I am not gonna say, I don't think that sounds like a good idea at all. That's for you to, you know, tell us what's good and why it's good. Wow. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, of course.
Why is it that only 7% are used by the government to fund software?
That kind of pie chart that I showed, is that what you're talking about? That's just the applications that we get. So again, we could get, in 2019, we could get, you know, 70% of our applications come in and they could be under behavioral IT, or that could change. But in 2018, and mostly in past years, that's kind of how it's gone. It's just about the number of applications, you know, the subject matter of the applications that we happen to receive based on our mission.
Can you share more information on the review process, especially when the proposal adjusts multiple things? For example, is it a technology platform that can be used in different kind of diseases? So
Yeah.
which review working?
So again, CSR also, they include receipt and referral, so they accept and assign your applications, but then they also assign all applications to the standing study sections with some limited exceptions. So they basically, the way an application is designated to a study section is about the science, not about whether it's a platform technology or a behavioral technology. It's about the science. So whether you were looking at a platform that was looking at liver-related stuff, or you were looking at just a drug, but in the liver area, that would probably be assigned to the same study section. So even though they're standing study sections, so you could all sign up. You sign up to be a reviewer, or they select you to be a reviewer. You sign up for, like 3 years or something. That's the standing section. However, if the review officer finds that he has some applications that, say, I'll use the pancreas area, because again, we don't have a lot of it, and he doesn't have an expert in pancreas, he will add that person. So again, the majority of the time, your application is going to be reviewed by the right people, and I don't choose who they are, you don't have to choose who they are. That's CSR's job.
But it seems like, is it possible also to specify like which studies session?
You can, but they don't have to listen to you, because it's their job, and so they're going to do what's best for you. You are always welcome to say, I'd like this application to go to NCI, and I'd like it to go to this study section. But they can overrule you if they think that that's better, and sometimes it is.
You've run through a couple of slides on certain programs. Can you just put those against the SMART, a couple of them?
Sure. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go through things that you might be interested.
Yeah, the SPARK.
Right. So these were the, as I noted, the common fund things, and just kind of highlighted the few that we are, NIDDK has a lead in. So these are R01 level programs across NIH. The majority of institutes participate in them. We have a few of these where we are a major player. I am not part of the SPARK initiative. Certainly, if you have questions, you can give me your card. I can shoot you an email. I can send it over to one of my colleagues, or look on the NIH website for sure. Right, and there it is. Let's see, druggable genome. This is the kidney precision medicine project that I was alluding to, that's kind of brandy new. Again, opportunities are out there. If they're not out there, they'll be coming. So if you have interest in these things, as Matt said, signing up for the listserv is great. Doing a regular check of our website is smart, or not just mine, but any institutes. If you know that your work is, with Heart, Lung, and Blood, check their website regularly.
And for the kidney precision medicine project, are you only looking at therapeutics or diagnostics?
No, it's again the full scope, but you can read in every FOA what, if indeed they are looking for something specific. Of course, in some they are going to be looking for something specific. Some might be for acute, some might be for chronic, some might be for transplant, but we always try to make sure it's clear if we're expecting something, what we want from you. Good? Well, if you're just shy and you don't want to stand up, by all means come find me. I hope I didn't bore you, and I hope you had a great meeting so far, and the rest of it continues as well. Thanks.